One day I hope to make a follow-up video that's called The Closure of NMC Toys. This is not the video I was hoping to make, but I think that it is an important video to make to discuss the situation around NMC Toys, as well as the greater ramifications that this terrible situation really has kind of rippled out into at least the Canadian market, but maybe others as well. Since I've last talked about NMC Toys, I've gained about 200 subscribers that I'm incredibly lucky and thankful for. It's unbelievable, really. And so to my usual viewers who come from my Godzilla content, thank you for clicking the video. I'm not going to be talking about Godzilla. This topic I think is much more important and serious than Godzilla, so I hope you'll stick around, but I understand if you don't want to. If you wanted to recap on the NMC Toys situation thus far, I do have 3 videos that I've done on this topic already, but if you want just a quick catch-up or maybe just a quick refresher for where we stand, NMC Toys was a Canadian collectible shop based out of Toronto, Ontario that was running for a long time. I want to say since 2018, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. And for a long time, things were fine. Most customers got their stuff, no problem. There were a few customers who just weren't getting their pre-orders in a timely manner or weren't getting refunds in a timely manner when pre-ordered items missed their initial ETAs. But as time went on, as the years went on, the number of people not getting their stuff, not getting their refunds was growing, to the point, I would say, where it became the majority rather than the exception. The owner was extremely defensive in Google reviews, and I think the Better Business Bureau, you can see some of those defensive kind of interactions. They're still up there. He would go on to forums and respond to comments and very lengthy responses, basically telling customers that they were wrong. But with time, the Google rating slowly went down. I think it ended up at the 3.0 range, maybe 2.9, I don't quite remember. And I can't tell because the Google page is now gone, because NMC Toys is now gone. And as much as I want to be a triumphant, like, woo, yeah, look, the scamming guy is gone, I can't help but feel really disheartened by how many people have come forward saying that they were scammed by this guy and just how much money he's ran off with. So I think about a month ago, maybe a couple of months ago, the website just went down. It had a landing page that said the owner had contracted shingles and he was pausing ordering on the website until he could get it figured out. But now the website is just gone. If you try to go to it, you'll get a really spammy malware type website. All of the social media channels are down. I haven't tried to email. I don't know if anyone has tried to email, but I assume that that's been deactivated. Any presence of NMC Toys as an organization is gone. And because of that, if you Google NMC Toys, among the first results is that NMC Toys Survivors Facebook group that I've discussed previously. Now, when we last talked about it, the group was approaching 500 members. I think it was in like the mid 400s, but it looked like it would peter out at about 500. That group now has well over 600. It's 624 members, and it's gaining new members every day. And the reason for that is because we're seeing a huge influx of people who are looking for answers when the website has gone down and the social channels have gone down. There are still people out there that have not received their items or their money, and so this Facebook group is now the place to look for answers or to see how other people were impacted in a very similar manner. I knew people were getting scammed. I think we all knew that. But the weight of how much money this guy has ran off with didn't really hit me until someone on this Facebook group posted a thread saying, hey everyone, please list the amounts that you've been scammed out of below. And that thread has 79 comments of folks posting how much money they are out and some of the names of the items that they were scammed out of. And the total amounts to about $35,000 from just the folks who have responded. There's one individual in there who spent $14,000 on his own, and it's just gone now. Now, I'm sure some of you might think like, oh, $14,000, like, didn't you figure it out after the first $7,000 that you weren't going to get anything? And like, I get where you're coming from, but I think that a little bit of compassion and empathy goes a long way. And also, I think it cannot be understated how manipulative and abusive the owner talks to people. In my first video, and I'll make sure to put it in the description here as well, I included an email thread between a customer that was looking to get his money back and the owner of NMC Toys. When the customer makes it very clear that he's following, Consumer Protection Ontario's advice, the owner devolves down into like this hostile, emotional mess really, really quickly. And the language he uses, it's full of gaslighting, it's full of emotionally manipulative tactics. And so I have no doubt that you could read it and see how someone who was, let's say, more agreeable or more prone to avoiding conflict might get bullied into keeping their orders or into even ordering more. So as it stands right now, about $35,000 of stolen funds is what we know of is outstanding from the closure of NMC Toys. Now, a lot of folks are wondering if this guy is going to start popping up again in either another storefront or at like local toy shows to sell off some of his inventory that hasn't really been moving. And I think I would be very surprised if that turns out to be true, man. Forget $35,000. Like, I don't know if I could go out in public and show my face knowing that I had stolen $14,000 from one person. I feel like I would be checking over my shoulder all the time. But then again, I have never known this owner to take accountability over anything. He has constantly blamed the customer for being impatient, for acting like a douchebag when they're asking for their hard-earned money back. And so maybe he will pop up, and maybe he will think that he has done nothing wrong throughout this entire process. Seriously, you should go read that email thread in the description. It's not mine. I have nothing to gain from you reading it, but it's a wild read, and I think you would understand the situation better. I'm also sorry to say that I'm pretty sure all of that money is gone. 2 videos ago, I talked about how someone had dug up a Reddit account for someone that we were pretty sure is the owner of NMC Toys. The post history of that account indicated that they shared a very similar employment status to the owner of NMC Toys. They lived in the same place. We were able to deduce that they express the same interest in the same pets. They both speak in a very condescending tone. They love to use the word pathetic as an adjective. They love to say people like you as a means of disqualifying what someone has to say, to the point where I'm 95% certain that it's the same person, and I am 100% scared if it's not, because that means there's 2 of this asshole running around in Toronto. But if you look at the most recent post history of this account, and by recent I mean over the past 4 or 5 months or so, you'll see that this person spends a lot of time playing video games like Warcraft and Diablo, which are heavily known for their microtransactions and games with very predatory features. Now, that's not the only thing that this person has been posting about on Reddit. He's also been posting about Star Citizen. Now, Star Citizen is a game live service type thing. It's free to download as far as I'm aware, but the only way to participate is to buy ships. Ships range from a very modest amount of money to thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't think it's a very bold assumption of me to say that if you are so invested into a game that you literally have to pay into to play enough that you're posting on forums, you're probably invested enough that you're actually playing the game and you're spending the money to buy these things. And it's not just that. This person's talking about Pokemon Go, he's talking about other video games. All of that is to say that if the money isn't gone, that $35,000, it probably will be soon. So to the folks that were scammed by NMC Toys, I am so sorry. This is so unfortunate. It is so tragic. And I think that the worst part is that this guy has not done anything so wrong to the point where the police will step in. It's just, apparently it's a civil matter, and so no one can find him anymore. He's gone. Somebody went by his old store location. He's gone. So it doesn't seem like this guy will see any justice for what's happened here. But surely his credit is in the gutter, based on all the chargebacks that the credit card companies have had to deal with. And his social reputation in Toronto has got to be trashed. It's got to be absolutely thrashed. And as I said before, I don't think that I could show my face in public. I don't think that I could go around without looking over my shoulder constantly. So that's probably the only comfort I can really offer anybody who was scammed by this scumbag. Another really awful thing to come out of this situation, this is the kind of thing that makes people scared to pre-order and scared to commit financially to things that they may never see. And so Kickstarters, smaller companies like Super 7 who, want to do niche things. They want to do cool and new innovative things, but they need money to do that. Stories like this will make people more scared to try and support things financially. And that's I think one of the bigger travesties to come out of this situation, is that this asshole who just scammed a ton of people, it's not just the customers that have paid for it. It is now the companies who will have less trust from customers that have to deal with it as well. So I'll keep my feelers out in case I hear anything. Stay tuned. If anything else comes of this situation, I'll be sure to post about it. As we enter the holiday season, I hope that you all stay safe financially and don't fall for scumbags like this. And hopefully next time I'll have something a little more cheery to talk about. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.